that sound piercing through your ear hole right now only means one thing. It's time for Local Music Monday, people. Get up. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Hope you're enjoying your... It's really rainy here in Utica. If you're not in Utica... Lucky you, because it's pouring out right now. It's like a monsoon out there.
I went through a hurricane on the way here from the valley.
I'm so glad you showed up.
Me too. I'm
so
very happy to be here.
Justin's here. Pat Orlowski's here. We're going to talk Woodstock 99, but before we do, I got to give some love to my sponsors. Shout out to Jeremy Freeman, man. Mr. Incredible himself. Like, literally, he's Mr. Incredible. They prototyped him to be Mr. Incredible. And he came up with this concoction called Upgrade. It helps me focus. It helps me be smarter. I'm less stressed. I could go throughout my day, get my workouts in. This thing really pumps me up. And it opens up your brain receptors. What it does is it puts the blood to the front of your forehead, not to the back of it. Like a lot of those 5-hour energy drinks give you the shakes and the sketchies and whatever. This doesn't do that. Upgrades the shit. Go over to freemanformula.com, use promo code disruption, get yourself some Upgrade, and check this out. I'm telling you, it'll wake you up. Justin woke up the other day drinking a couple of them, and then he was like running around his house like Cornholio.
I am Cornholio.
That's good stuff. Check out Upgrade. Shout out to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. Those guys are awesome. They'll move you pretty much anywhere, anytime, any place. Give them a call, 315-335-0516. You want a great meal this week, stop over at Joey's at 307-315-864-3527. Get yourself a reservation. They're packed all the time. Probably going to hit up Joey's this week. Tell Grabsky I said what up.
Still haven't been there yet.
You haven't? You got to check it out. We are drinking Utica coffee today. We haven't drank coffee in a while. I actually kind of passed. I haven't been drinking much coffee lately. I've been drinking too much Upgrade. I think that's what it is.
for me, it's either coffee, booze, or I'm drinking water all day long.
Same.
Like it's water. I mean, I walked in with my water, so I mean, it's like I'm obsessed with water.
Got to stay hydrated, Justin.
Stay hydrated.
Especially in the hot summer days.
Yes.
Got to stay hydrated. Also, you know who else hydrates us a lot, too, is that Saranac. Our good friends over there. Shout out to Fred and the peeps over at Saranac for getting that beer garden open this week. It looked really cool. I can't wait to get my selfie in front of that UC thing.
For sure.
Every other person on my news feed has got a selfie on the UC sign. You seen it?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You want to get yours too, don't you, Pat?
Yeah.
I think the three of us should drive down there right now.
I'm in.
Get it done. So thank you to Saranac. Thank you to my attorney, Dave Longretta. And also Ballsy, ballwash.com. Use promo code members only for 50% discount. See, Justin's smiling. And you know why he's smiling? Because he's got nut rub on.
Because my balls don't stink.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I do. I want to meet these guys and be like, thank you.
Thank you for making.
And it's not just for me; it's for all the other assholes that I have to smell, literally. You know, I mean, come on, everybody should. Every male should wear nut rub.
I agree. 100%.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's perfect.
What scent you sporting these days?
The cedar and citrus.
Cedar and citrus. Nice.
Yeah, I like it. I haven't tried. My next one to try is Forest Fresh because I've tried the Ocean.
The Ocean Breeze?
Ocean Breeze, which I really like. But the cedar and citrus, I like it because it's not as outgoing.
Your dick smells like the Adirondack Park.
It does.
That's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. That's cool. Pat Orlowski with us today. Drummer extraordinaire. You might remember Pat from such bands as Toast, Rattlebasket, Gridley Page, Dashboard Nixon. Let's see. Can we get any one of them?
Yeah, Last Left, Simple Props.
He's currently playing Last Left, Simple Props. I mean, your accolades can grow. SIV. Cosmo.
Did you ever do any gigs with Boston?
The closest was obviously Fran, his son Anthony, and Barry Gaudreau.
Barry Gaudreau, that's really cool.
You can't get any closer than that. That's his guitar sound on those records.
Yep.
You know, and so I got to a couple gigs, 2 or 3 gigs, but
awesome
very cool.
Yeah, it was great.
And those were like dope gigs. Like they flew you out. You got pampered.
Yeah, it was. You know, I mean, my whole entire life, you know, I never had a. You know, between playing music and photography and having a full-time job, still couldn't afford really nice vacations, you know, and when I joined that band, it was all expense paid, flights to, you know, Key West and, you know, the Virgin Islands and, you know, playing 3 nights in Vegas, you know, I mean, it was beautiful and, you know, and it was very professional and I never had that opportunity and it was, it was a great opportunity and I was glad I was able to do it.
It's incredible. And something else that you got to do, which is the topic of conversation, is Woodstock 99. You got to play that gig with Rattlebasket. But before we get into that conversation, who was your mentor growing up as far as drumming goes? Who was your guy that you looked up to locally?
You know, I mean, my music tastes changed a lot over the years. And, so in my youth, it started off with Kiss.
Well, what about locally? I mean, the local guys.
Oh, local guys.
Locally.
Gotcha.
Like, who was the guy that you would like to go out
I was always the little kid going to Hanna Park and going to Good Old Summertime and watching those bands and just religiously watching the drummer. And so bands like Mr. Red, I love that drummer. The Frogs, Triffid with Joey Belladonna.
Oh, wow.
Of course, Alpha Centauri. So I really was... Didn't have any, I didn't know people's names, but those were bands that just stood out, and I just loved those, their performance. It's, of course, Lonnie's been doing it forever, and, so he's always been in the music scene with me growing up, it started at EJA Lenny.
Can you give me a Lenny right now, Justin?
So, Pat, you said I've been around a long time, but, I remember when I was back in the day, I was going to, that place that was down the road from 4 Acres, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the first light, but it's the second light in Marcy. I can keep going. I mean, it's just...
I just thought of a person, and God rest his soul, but Timo G. Less, Mr. Timothy Gillis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I had the honor of him rehearsing below me on Visigoth when I was in a band called Eben Rook with Spundy.
Was that at the old tower?
No, it was when that closed down. A few of the bands, including Visigoth, moved above Pizza Classic.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I was in high school, and the band I joined actually rehearsed below them. It was my first experience in having a practice room and having to pay for it, and it was such a great experience to be able to go someplace and play and. You didn't have to worry about the neighbors or anything, and you had bands all around. I mean, this band Chicks was downstairs across from Visigoth. Mm-hmm. And there was even at one time when Joey Bonamassa, when he was young, his band Bloodline actually rehearsed there as well. And so it was great. But Tim always gave me a lot of guidance. He would always put me in my place, and he always wanted to use my piece of crap drum set when his guitar players would have guitar sessions. They didn't want no drums. They would just have days for just guitar sessions. And so he would go upstairs, and just because he was religious with his drums, and he would play my drums. He says, all right, if I use your drums, tonight. And I'm like, yeah, of course. If you wanna, because he would let me sit on his drums, and these were like, back in the day, I couldn't afford nice stuff, and to play his great equipment, and I remember one time I was playing on his kit, he let me play his kit, and the bathroom was right next to it, and he kind of peeks out of the bathroom, and he's like, sounds pretty good. And he didn't have to say that,
No.
and I remember when he worked at the smoke shop in the mall, and I would always go in there and talk with him, and we'd talk drums, and it was just, when you look up to somebody like that when you're young and they're doing all these great gigs and these recordings and playing with such great professional musicians, you need that to kind of know where you need to be, moving forward, playing music, and the band I was in was very talented, but, we just weren't to that point of playing or doing gigs or anything yet.
Right.
Yeah, you're young.
It took a long time before I started to play gigs. I mean, I rehearsed for years, my whole entire life, until I got the SIV gig, which was really the first time I was able to, perform in a professional band that actually had gigs and got an audience and made money.
That was your first gig, SIV?
The very first professional. I mean, as much as you want to say SIV was professional.
Right.
But they really, they were a very talented band, but just you never know it. You would never know it by the antics that were going on.
There was so much antics going on. You'd have naked guys running around, people in diapers. It was wild.
Spectacle, as they would call it.
It was a spectacle. It was a rock and roll freak show.
Yeah, and
rock and roll freak show. I love it.
It was definitely a rock and roll freak show. Speaking of rock and roll freak shows, Woodstock 99. A lot of people have been talking about it because there's a documentary out on Netflix, and there was one on Hulu last year, and now there's this new one on Netflix, which some of those interviews were taken right here at the Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they used the Stanley as a soundstage when they were in town a little bit, Netflix did. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen the documentary yet, but I will definitely check it out and see. But you had some experiences there. Were you there the whole weekend? Now, I know you played with Rattlebasket.
Yeah.
What day did you play?
We played Thursday, which... to back it up to that Netflix one, I mean, that was definitely, in my opinion, a little better than the other one.
Was it?
And I liked one of the main points was because of the interviews and a little bit of the behind the scenes. I mean, they were talking about James Brown. And, a lot of bands, including like when I was in Cosmo, a lot of times you get paid ahead of time, and this is like before you even fly to the gig, and I don't know, some kind of controversy with his pay or whatever. He didn't get paid in full yet, and he was refusing to go on stage. And the big wig promoter was just like, he goes, "Hey, Mr. Brown, look outside," or looking, at the audience, and all you see is just people as far as the eyes can see. And he's like, "All right, I'm going on." I'm sure he still got paid, but him trying to break their balls, like, "Listen, I'm not going to go on stage until I get paid."
Hit me.
It was
Get up, get on up.
it was the Netflix one was definitely a little bit better, but they really focused, both of them, on a lot of the negativity and you can probably find negativity in anything.
Anything, yeah.
On Varick Street on a Thursday, you can find negativity.
Sure.
Getting that opportunity to do that on a Thursday, which unfortunately they didn't really. Oh wait, where's that? I actually took a screenshot of all the bands that played on that Thursday because they don't talk about it. Actually, in the Netflix one, they didn't even talk about the West Stage at all. So we're talking about Nationals played all the whole entire weekend, and they were all a lot of great bands that played on there.
Yeah.
But on the day that we played,
What was considered the main stage, like the?
Well, that's the thing. They were both main stages.
Oh, okay.
But they were just literally probably a half an hour walk between each other.
No shit.
So if you were watching one band, the other band was going to be starting soon. You had to plan accordingly what you wanted to see.
Yeah, you almost had to leave before that was done before the last set,
I
or
did.
before the end of the set. Yeah.
I can remember watching Insane Clown Posse on the West Stage, and I never seen the band before. And I was just really intrigued by what I was seeing. Anybody knows who they are. When you see them live, it's like, wow, and I was just mesmerized by them, and I'm just, it's not my cup of tea, but I was just really enjoying the show, and I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, oh my God, Korn's going to be playing on the East Stage, and so you have to make that decision. Do I leave what I'm and I had to leave to walk that half an hour or so walk to the other stage,
That's crazy.
Go through the lineup on Thursday.
Yes, so Thursday lineup was, I'm sure you remember Frostbit Blue.
Of course.
KG James, Little Big Jam, of course, Gridley Page. Hi, Tim.
Who?
Who's that?
Dejoloba, Red Herring.
Red Herring.
Mr. Adamman.
Yeah.
Rattle Basket. And this is the order, too, the way they performed. In Bloom, Flip, Third Base. Then they start getting to some nationals. So Vertical Horizon, Strange Folk.
Strange Folk, yeah.
G Love and the Special Sauce. The String Cheese Incident. Bernie Worrell and the Who Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Parliament Funkadelic.
Yep.
And then George
Talking
Clinton
Heads.
and the P-Funk All-Stars, which was George Clinton's birthday that day, too. So.
Wow.
No shit.
Yeah, so
You know what I love too? This is another thing that I love about the Moyers. Like Tim was so good at marketing that I'll never forget it. He was he called everybody he knew and said, "We're opening up for Vertical Horizon at Woodstock." And no, honestly, and it was Gridley Page, 2 or 3 more bands, and then Vertical Horizon. But still, the way that Tim marketed it, it was insanely genius because you know what I mean? It was I don't know. It's just,
he's great at it.
Unbelievable. And I was like, man, I just wish I could play on the parking lot. You know what I mean? I'd be happy with that, But I mean, but the way he did it, he exploded it. We're opening for Vertical Horizon. It was I don't know. It was just really funny.
But then you could talk to Mike Tellerico or Roscoe, who I was partying with afterwards backstage. Sure. And they were so pissed that Tim booked a gig on Woodstock weekend,
Oh, right.
We're back there partying, and there's chicks everywhere, and we're having such a great time. And I know that I'm going to be there for the weekend, and those guys have to just get in their cars and go to Utica. So I think it was McGill's. No offense, Brendy. I love your place, but not on Woodstock weekend.
So my other question is, when you guys were able to party backstage, were you able to party backstage all weekend? Or was there a cutoff point?
There was a cutoff because our pass was just for our day. And when they say that backstage was heaven, it really was. I mean, everything was taken care of for you, air conditioning, just big, huge garbage cans full of beverages, anything you wanted.
Wow.
Of course, food all over the place. And it was just a very relaxed, a totally different world. And I didn't know that what the world was to become outside on the other side. Until Friday. So I lived it up as well. But having that pass that said artist on it, I was able to at least go into town. And they didn't talk about this either. Like everyone, they act like you were in some like refugee camp or something. I mean, you could go anytime you wanted by these school buses. They were picking you up on the base, take you into town. You could go to the grocery stores, buy food. They were going to Delta Lake you could take a shower at Delta Lake. And they had all these buses that would take you to those places. I mean, there's pictures of Burger King with the line down to the base. So I would just go into town and or go home and sleep at home and then come back. It was a little bit pain in the ass coming back. I remember coming back Saturday and it was even then just you could not get into town. The traffic was so intense. But
even on Saturday.
Even on Saturday.
Wow. And people just coming in and out.
But it was cool. The radio stations were just streaming the whole concert the whole time. So I'm sitting there waiting in line in traffic and listening to what I'm missing. But it was still cool because I'm still listening to it.
Sure.
And even that too with like the video streaming that you could pay for. And that never stopped. It never stopped. It was constantly going through the whole entire night, and it was unedited. So obviously you saw everything, and people have those collections, they just recorded it on their VHS, the whole entire time, just kept the VCRs going.
I want to know about playing the stage though. What was that like? I mean, it hadn't been the biggest stage.
Tim's killing me right now, by the way. I have to interject. Tim is killing me right now. Tim did not book the gig for the weekend. That Woodstock weekend, his father did, which totally makes sense because why would his father care about Woodstock weekend? You guys got to make money. You know what I mean? That's what he would say.
Yeah, but they were already one of the bigger bands in the area.
Sure.
What's to take a weekend off to Woodstock?
Yeah.
I'm sure that gig that he had.
Believe me, if Mike ask Michael Tellerico that question.
Sure.
What he had to leave, but.
Yeah, but playing that stage though.
Yeah, it was a long day. We had to be at the casino at like 8:30 in the morning to pick up our credentials, and we get to the casino and there's these long lines of everyone else that had to get their stuff.
Other vendors and stuff.
Yeah, and so we got our stuff, and it was just a long day. The way they were doing sound checks, and I'm sure you're familiar with this. I was sound checked on a portable riser, probably 3 or 4 bands before I went on. So it was really, and it was, and there was no in-ear monitors back then. So, but that monitor was like some of these front-end house, PAs, for a drum box, So it was
some side fills or something going.
Oh, it was huge. It was huge. But we had a choreographed show that we had planned and we rehearsed for a long time, because we kind of we did a lot of work to get the show, because there were so many bands. They put it out there that we were looking for some local bands to play, Woodstock. So of course, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bands, applied to play.
Yeah.
So Dan the Duke, and he's great. He was another one that's great with marketing, and we would do like these gift baskets with our Rattle Basket shirts and CDs, and we would hand deliver it to Lang in his office, and we would just constantly bombard him with invites to our shows, and in fact we got him to go to one of our shows at Bowls, I believe it was. Thank God it was a great night too. But he actually came there, and I don't know what made him pick us. But
Michael Lang came there? That's cool.
Yeah.
So you got to
We
meet
did
him
a lot of work to try to get him to come,
Well, he was in town for like that whole summer.
Yeah, sure.
Just building the thing.
Yeah,
right? Wasn't that same
and we
summer?
knew about it.
Yeah,
we knew that he was here, so we just did whatever we had to do because there was no social media or nothing either.
No.
People don't understand how much work you had to do to get any gig.
Yeah, you couldn't tag him in anything and be like, "Hey, dude, show up at my show tonight." You know what I mean?
It was a lot. It was a lot of work, and when we got wind that we got the gig, it was obviously we were really excited about it. And but anyway, so. It was a long day, so then by the time we're performing, we just go on and we do I think it was only like maybe a half an hour set, 35 minutes,
Right.
but it was a choreographed, tighter than tight we could ever be, and we put on our show, and then I was like dead, I was exhausted, I put everything into it, and then I watched the rest of the bands, and then got ready to camp, You know, I mean, because we stayed for the weekend. You know,
Were there a lot of people there when you guys were playing, or?
Yeah, you know, we went out about 5:30. I think it started maybe at noon.
Yeah.
Even though Vertical Horizon went on way later, and
Sure.
Tim said he opened for him, so that was a long 7-8 bands before Vertical
Actually,
Horizon.
Tim sat in with him too.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Well, yeah. I mean, but he was busy. He was in like a a hiatus from Train at that time. So
right. He sat in with Vertical Horizon. He's everything you want, right? He did that one with him.
yeah,
Yeah,
they,
well,
they
I
did a
mean-
choreographed dance too.
No, but Tim was good. I mean, Jeffrey was playing guitar at that time. You know,
Yes.
they were obviously, but they were seasoned vets. You know, I mean,
For sure.
They
Yeah.
already played the shows like that all the time. You know, not just the magnitude of being national.
Right.
You
He's
know.
saying that weekend they played at It's
Showtime
Showtime
for 6 people.
6 people. Do you remember that place down on?
Oh, yes.
It's a piano place now. It used to be
Yes.
the Paris Cinema.
Yeah.
And it was called.
It's
Showtime.
center stage pianos now. Keith James teaches piano out of there right
Does
now.
he? They have like a little auditorium in the back.
They do. Yeah. Played there with Liberty DeVito just recently.
So that whole weekend, what totally blew your mind musically? What was like your highlights from Woodstock '99, musically speaking?
You know, I mean, being a musician and really going out to see shows all the time, for myself, it was just an opportunity to just be in one place, and all these shows are bands
Coming
are
to you,
coming to me.
So cool.
You know, and so, I mean, I remember seeing James Brown. I mean, that was the first one on the East stage because remember because the West stage they were kind of using that as a warm up, you know, and then the East stage it was James Brown, and just seeing the people, how many people there were there, you know, and but there really wasn't. I mean, the whole weekend was a highlight, and really what it was a highlight about was just the freedom that I was part of with all these people that were all. Once you went past that fence, anything could go.
Lawlessness.
Lawlessness, you know. I mean, and people seem to forget. I mean, the state troopers were on the outside. There was no police presence, and it's something that I didn't even think about at the time. What I was seeing, but I never felt nervous or scared or in danger, or you know. And I never seen anybody around me that felt that same way. Everyone had smiles on their faces, you know. I mean, granted, it could have been a lot of the guys because they saw nudity every 2 seconds, you know. I mean, but you know, I mean, but then you know. They encouraged the nudity obviously by having the chest paintings. I mean, I've seen so many girls that I didn't know if it was their shirt or the painting. You know, I mean, it was really that intense. You know, I mean, and I mean, yeah, it was hot. You know, I mean, but it's hot all the time in July. You know, I mean, and yeah, the prices were expensive. You know, but like I said, they had capability. You could go into town. Whoever's saying that they were, you know, yeah, it was a ripoff because maybe you didn't want to leave town, or you didn't know about the access to leave town. I'm sorry, not leave town, but leave the event.
Yeah,
you know, normally you can't do that, you know, but you could leave and come back, you know. But you know, so I mean, yeah, there was some. You were a survivor, you know. I mean, you were at this great event and that everyone was part of, you know, and yeah, there was those people that were in the mud. I didn't understand it.
It was shit, actually, Pat.
Well, I
Shit
didn't
for the
understand
porta
why they
potties.
were doing it. You know, I mean,
Because they were on acid, Pat.
Yeah.
there was a lot of them, man, a lot
And
of
meth.
And there was times, and I remember because the thing is, you never wanted to miss or lose your friends.
Right.
Because the place was there were so many people there, and they actually had this long board that you could go and write on if you got lost or lost your friends, and tell them where you're going to be and what time you're going to be there, because you would lose people, and then it would take you forever to find them. You know, what I mean, where our tent was. We were tenting before the masses got there, but we had to look ahead and look what we saw, so we knew where to go back.
Right.
You know, because you would never find it again.
Get lost.
You would, yeah. So, anyways,
And it was before these stupid things came out.
Oh my God.
Well, I'll tell you right now, though. I mean, you know, with that many people, the cell phone towers wouldn't have been able to handle, you know, that amount of people on the smaller towers that we have around here. You know what I mean? So you would have doing the same thing anyway. I think.
But you'd get a lot of pictures.
Yeah, you would.
Now, did you walk around taking pictures? I mean, you're a photographer. Was that your opportunity to walk around and click?
Well, you know, and again, I didn't know at the time, you know, what the opportunities were going to be for photos. you know, but most of everybody had was the throwaway cameras, you know, and it was film.
the
And that's all you
disposables.
had, you know.
Sure.
Listen, kids, before these things came out, these cell phones, we had these things called disposable cameras. And what they were was you'd pull them out of the box, and it was just a camera in a box, and you take it out of the plastic, and you start clicking pictures. And then you would have to get it developed.
Yeah,
turn the flash on to
You
warm
turn
up.
the flash on, and you'd have to get it developed. You go
Press,
to,
you hear that.
you go to Eckerd's or Phase Drugs or some shit.
See, I remember the old film that was I forget the name of it, but it was like this long. And I feel like all of our
110 film.
110 film. I feel like all of our grandmothers had that camera.
All of them.
And like
They had
you
the
open
flash
up
cube
the
on the
thing,
top?
the flash cube on the top. You pull up the thing, you load it in the 110 film, and then you just take it and bring it in. I mean, it was like that because that was all our grandmothers that they could afford at the time. You know what I mean? They couldn't afford like a real,
And that flash would just, you'd get one flash, boom, and it turn.
Yeah, it would
And then
turn.
You get another one,
Yep.
flash, boom, and turn again.
Yeah, you get 4 flashes and then.
They're just explosions. Like
Yeah.
the cameras now, they have perfect exposure. They know how far you are away and
Right.
they expose just the right amount of light. Back then it was an explosion. Hopefully you got a good exposure.
Yeah.
Danny Melito, what's up, Mertz? He's checking in and says the rave hanger was off the chains. Did you make it to the rave hanger?
Yeah, I mean, the first night, it was, I think Moby was there, and
Wow.
they had a lot of great, Fatboy Slim.
Oh, cool.
Of course, Chemical Brothers played the West Stage, but, but they, that was a whole different animal because it's dark and then now everybody it's not hot.
Everybody's on ecstasy.
Oh my God. But it was, you couldn't sleep and boom, 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 all night long, and we happened to be like looking at the hangar.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember waking up the first morning, and I'm an early person, even when Cosmo, I was always walking around, just get my breakfast, my coffee, the first time, sometimes before even the coffee was being made yet,
Mm-hmm.
But, and I remember walking around and there was this, and this is the first morning, and there's people just laying on the ground. It looked like a war scene, like a bomb hit, and there was just nothing left, except for a few bodies, and those people were just sleeping.
That was the first morning.
That was the first morning.
Wow.
That was the first morning. And I went and got breakfast. I remember went to one of those places. It was a very overpriced places for a breakfast sandwich or something. And, and I had some breakfast and, I was waiting for the concert to start, and they had, it was like a commune kind of thing that you could escape it. And they made it seem like, people were dying and getting raped. I mean, if you're a girl and you're down in that pit of thousands of people and you're naked, I'm not saying that it's right to do, but you're putting yourself in that situation. You're way close to each other. You're so close to each other like that, and then there's girls that are naked bouncing around on top of your head. What are you doing that for? What are you doing that for?
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in that situation. What kind of fun are you having? You know what I'm saying? Head walking and stuff like that, but you're naked. But. It was definitely things that could have been avoided, and it's just, nobody should ever put themselves in a situation where they think it should be violated like that, but it's a lot of people, and it's dangerous,
Sure.
I could be, because they had all these like fountains that were just had water count and they were refreshing,
Yeah.
But I'd be there, just refreshing, getting my water filled up and stuff, and there'd be a naked girl next to me doing the same thing, and it was okay, it was accepted,
Yeah,
right.
To me, I was like, yeah,
But
but
they were trying-
it was accepted. I was never thinking in a million years, being bad, mean or anything like that. It was just, it got to that point where it's like, everything went
Right.
there, the last day, I can't comment on that because I did not go the last day.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because, between Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I was
out.
whipped,
Yeah.
man. I was whipped, and, but I watched it on TV, and, it was sad to see that all go down the way it did, but I think when you leave a bunch of people, especially that are not from around here, they had nothing. They didn't have to worry about nothing, They didn't even live here, and there were so many people from all over the place, from
Sure.
other countries even, and they just, and then you give them candles, granted,
Which is the stupidest idea.
I understand, the kind of, they wanted to have that ceremonial thing, but,
It's stupid.
Again, they could have, back now we could have the flashlight on there like
Right.
they do now.
Exactly.
But
It was a whole different world, though. They were trying so hard to get some sort of 69 and integrated into that, and like the world was different. The kids are different. You know what I mean? The kids were being raised different than that. That generation's kids were being raised, and it's like there. I think there was a lot of love. peace and like, you know, harmony between that generation, but it was different. You know what I mean? And the music was different.
Definitely the music was different. That was 90s alternative. That was
I mean, that...
Jamiroquai.
Yes.
You know, Korn Live, the band Live, you know.
James Brown.
James Brown?
Right, P-Funk. I mean, it was very eclectic.
Alice in
eclectic,
Chains.
like different.
I mean, Alice in Chains,
all
Alanis
sorts of different genres. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All sorts of different genres.
All the ones that were big at that time.
Right, exactly.
Creed, Our Lady Peace.
Well, and like Michael Lang had said,
all the big hits were that, you know, that's what was on the radio at that time.
Yeah, and like Michael Lang said, they wanted to make money. That was what it was. I mean, people don't realize that that's what concerts are all about, is making money.
Well, they lost their...
They don't give a shit about them, you know?
That's what you're going to find out on the Netflix one, is that they lost their ass on the 94 because of the rain.
Right.
They didn't make no money on it. So their goal was to make sure that they made up for what they lost. And let me tell you something. You know why they're, you know, you see the Woodstock videos of people throwing bottles and it's just garbage everywhere. That's the truth, man. And I'm thinking to myself, they didn't even care about where the people put garbage. There was nobody to clean it up. They were just pretty much waited till it was over.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then it took about a month to clean the whole place up.
I believe it, yeah.
It took about a month.
Did you go to 94?
No.
No?
No. I had a lot of friends that did, though.
Yeah.
And that was a great one. I mean,
Where was 94 in the original? Well, not, well,
Yeah.
it was in Bethel, right?
Yeah.
It's in the original site.
And it rained the whole weekend.
Rained the whole time, but there's some great footage of like
Great footage.
I like 9 Inch Nails performance from Woodstock '94 is legendary. That
They covered themselves in the mud.
Yeah, and that
They
put them
told
into
all the whole band.
superstardom. Like
Yeah.
that's at the and then Green Day having a mud fight with the crowd.
He gets hit right in the mouth with a big...
That's some legendary shit.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Mertz is saying the dumbest move on the last day is handing out 150,000 people candles. And the kids were pissed off. Yeah, because they were getting raped by corporate pigs.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, you know? So you start pissing off that generation, our generation, you know?
But just think about it
we're
when
going
it
to fight
happened.
back.
It happened at the end. Why didn't it happen in the beginning? Because, you know, I mean, people were having a great time. I never seen anybody not having a great time.
But also, you also got to figure that, you know, even now, I mean, I'm 41 years old, and I go to some place, like we play Dakers 3 nights, right? 3 nights. We play Dakers. I go in there. I drink on Friday night like I'm never going to drink again. Like I'm balls to the wall. Every single time we played on a Friday night, you think I learned my lesson, but I don't, okay? And then Saturday, I'm like, I'm never drinking again. And by Sunday, I'm so exhausted that I hate everybody.
And you have to drink to stay awake.
And I have to drink to stay awake. So then you mix anger with more drinking because now you got to drink more. You know what I mean? And it's that thing. I mean, look at the age of all the kids then. You know, I mean, you know, 16 to 29, 30. You know what I mean? That were there. If you're there on the last day, you're God. Oh my God. You know what I mean? By then you're pissed.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, and they took everybody's beer and water away on the inside coming in.
Oh no.
You know, and I can remember because we would have access to ATVs, so we would bring ours in. We would bring ours beer in and anything else that we wanted in. And but I can remember it's just, oh my God, the stacks were so high, full of cases of beer, and I mean the water's pretty sad. But there might have been, maybe you should have known that you can't bring anything in.
Yeah.
You know. But like I said again, you can go into town. You know, I mean, they just wanted you to spend your money inside.
Right.
You know, like with the concerts, I just went to the Syracuse one there, the amphitheater. Beautiful place. Love it. But man, it's expensive prices for everything.
That's Live Nation for you.
You know, it is to an extent. I mean, I look at it this way. How much are those pounders?
It was like $15.
So, all right, so 16 bucks.
16, yeah.
16 bucks. Okay, you got to figure. It's still priced lower than Turning Stone Casino at Exit 33 because it's $9 for a Heineken there. So you pay $16. That's a pounder. That's 2 beers.
It is.
So you know what I'm saying? So in essence, you're only paying $8 for beer. So it's not that bad. You know.
But I'm watching 4 bands.
Right, exactly.
Jason
and plus
Jason Clifford,
4 pounders.
He was buying them like they're going out of style, and I'm wow.
You have to, because you know if you're somebody like me who likes ice cold beer and doesn't like when it gets warm, I just drink it faster. So then I need more.
Shout out to Jason Clifford, by the way.
Yeah, love him, love him, much love.
Seriously, man.
There's got to be a way that they could fix that, like water only, maybe unsealed or sealed water. You know, if you're gonna bring in water, make sure it's sealed and have them check it. You know what I mean? Something like that. Because I just think that, you know, something that's going to that is required to keep us alive, okay? You're going to tell me I can't You know what I mean?
I was very hot. I don't even know. Right now in my old age, I need a lot of water.
It was 90 degrees that whole weekend. And the weekend before, it was a hot summer that
year. It was a definitely hot summer.
It was funny because, funny story about our experience there. There was the checklist of things you could not bring in there was huge, and one of them was obviously no recorders, but we were playing there, so Bear videotaped us right from the soundboard. He mixed us on the west stage, so he had a recorder going, so we do have video footage of it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, isn't it?
It's probably
awesome. I got to look it up.
Yeah. And it's funny because one time, because it's so big, stage is so big, and he was back at the soundboard, so we look like this.
Yes.
And one time, in one song, he zooms in, and you can see me playing for the first time, and then he comes back out. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
One tiny second, and you can see it's me.
Sure.
But anyways, and then we brought in an umbrella, and you would never think that how great an umbrella would be on a hot summer day.
Oh, yeah.
That's not raining, but the shade that it provides. And so our buddy Spencer, everyone knows who, in the music scene knows who Spencer is. He was in charge of keeping us all shaded while we were walking, go do the bands and stuff. And and we got a video. Or a picture. I said, Spence, I want you to walk out, because it was a yellow umbrella. I want you to walk out into the crowd. I don't still to this day don't know how he found his way back, because we could see him. He can't see us. So he walked way out in the middle of the crowd. And I got a picture of it, man. All you see is the sea of people in this little tiny yellow umbrella in the middle of the crowd. He made it back. He found us. I don't know how he did.
Oh, my God.
Because we told him we weren't going to move where we were. So he found us. But that was, we made sure I got a picture of him holding that umbrella and then walking out in there just to show the magnitude, because it's hard to get that without
for sure.
that many people, And I was there for Limp Bizkit, and I still didn't think nothing of it. And I saw Limp Bizkit at Lost Horizon. That's just who they are.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't want to break things?
No. That's the most,
you didn't want to get some nookie?
There's going to be stupid people. And when you got hundreds of thousands of stupid people, it's only going to be something's going to happen. You got to be the right person to just walk away from it, I mean, and it was just, they didn't, like you said, it probably was majority because of the money, but they didn't care about what went in there, and the bands all played, and they all looked like they were having a great time, and it sounded great. The production was really good, but
I like watching the footage of like Rage's set or Korn, and you see because it seems like all the other bands were on the side wings, watching the other bands just all kind of hanging out.
They were all like sitting on the stage.
They're all sitting on stage. You see like Puff Daddy, and whomever, just kind of hanging out. And the guys from Korn watching Rage, the guys from Rage watching Korn, Limp Bizkit,
Like I was telling you guys earlier, like it popped up on my Facebook, like Limp Bizkit at Woodstock, and first of all, I mean everybody that you either loved Limp Bizkit or you were one of the guys that hated them, made fun of them, like whatever. When I was growing up, it was just, and I dug the songs because they were catchy. It was metal, it was like heavy, but it was catchy, and you just wanted every song was like this. I mean, everybody wanted to do this,
the rap rock mix.
Right, and I mean, DJ Lethal is incredible. I mean, just what he did for that band. I mean, can you imagine that band without him, first of all? But, like, all those guys were super talented. They sounded exactly like the record. Even Fred Durst, touring however long they were touring, could still go and perform with that voice.
Well, speaking of celebrities, didn't they have Mini-Me freaking introduce him?
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he's little tiny, Limp Bizkit, little tiny Mini-Me. So they had a lot of celebs like you didn't even know unless you were there or if you watched the videos.
But they had already, during Limp Bizkit's set, they'd already torn apart the wall. So they had plywood. They were doing stage surfing, or the crowd surfing with the plywood.
Pieces of wood. I got the Rolling Stone cover, and it's Fred Durst on one of those, and just people behind him.
Yeah.
He's on a piece of wood, and there are people under it.
I actually have a piece of that wood from Woodstock.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's another thing, that website I was telling you about on Facebook, that Woodstock 99. There's so many people they want, show me your piece of the fence, or show me your piece of the wood, and everyone posts their pictures or the things that they have from it,
I got to go on there and post it then.
Shirts. You want a Woodstock 99 shirt, you're going to pay, you're going to bend over for it.
Sure.
I mean, I have one.
Pat's saying there's a group on Facebook, Woodstock 99, and just people from all over the world connecting with one another and sharing pictures and stuff.
That's great.
It's Woodstock 99.
Which I'll also bring up. A guy reached out to me because I posted my picture that I played there and stuff. So there's some pretty cool pictures that I have from my memories, anyways. And he reached out to me. He's doing a documentary, kind of more positive from a person, an attendee point of view.
Good.
You know, and because a lot of those, if you go on that site, on the Facebook site, everyone's having a great time.
Yeah.
And there's not one person that, you know, there, people say I was 19 or I was 18. It's my first concert, or first time I left home to go to this big event, you know, or I saved up money to go, or, you know, I mean, it was the stories that you read about how many, I didn't realize it was going to be this. For me, when I was playing the event, I was like, it's a great national concert.
In our backyard.
In our backyard.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't realize the magnitude of what it was, you know, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it turned into that, too, later in life. The more it goes on, and more it's... And I think adding all this negativity is making it even bigger.
Well, I agree. I mean, you look at some of these top 10 lists that people say, like top 10 epic concert fails or whatever, and up towards the top is Woodstock '99 every time, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, the end of the show was horrible, and I think a lot of, like, Rome being the laughing stock of the music world is, I mean, it's a lot of it stems from the way that it was portrayed in the media. You know, all these documentaries, all these things that all it's doing is portraying it in a negative aspect. There were bands that we would have never seen in our entire lives that were at that show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That were playing that gig, that gave everybody in this area an opportunity to see. You know what I mean?
I personally think it was the best way to close out the decade of the 90s.
For sure.
I'm sorry.
Burn it all down.
Burn it all down.
Burn it all down.
What better way to define the 90s than closing it out with Woodstock 99 in our backyard?
Yep.
But
they
think
burnt
about
down Woodstock, and I graduated. That's the end of the decade.
You graduated 99?
I did, yeah.
Wow, 88. Well, for me.
Well, you still look better than I do, so.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
you don't age, you son of a bitch.
Ageless.
on.
You
Pat
don't.
Orlowski, the ageless wonder.
He doesn't
You didn't hear the
age.
noises of me just sitting in this chair.
You've looked the same.
But in that documentary, the Netflix one, they also talk about, you know, how ridiculous of a venue the Air Force Base was
sure.
to have that,
Right.
because there was no shelter,
Right.
there was no trees. It was like this prison of live music. You know, once you're in, you know, you're in, and there's your live entertainment. You know, and
That's my
whatever
kind of prison, though.
Yeah,
You
tell me
ain't
about it.
kidding, man. I'm telling you, man. It was so unique of a situation because you know we've all been kids before, and we all, you know, sometimes you get in trouble, you know. But and once you're inside Woodstock, it didn't matter, you know. I mean, and it could be innocent fun, you know, innocent fun. I mean, everyone was, you know, I mean, you know, the end sucked, you know. I mean, but.
Right.
But again, the key word is the end.
Yeah.
You know, the thing I love, though, you can't bring this in, can't bring this in, but you can bring a gallon-sized Ziploc bag full of mushrooms and an ounce of weed. That's okay.
That's my kind of party.
Supposedly,
Just saying, you know.
a lot of people buried it, you know, way ahead of time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's because that's the only way. I mean, unless you
Like went to the base and buried their shit?
That's a thing, bro.
Wow.
Especially with the Nitrous Mafia. The Nitrous Mafia will go.
What the fuck is that?
It's down in Philly. We'll get into that's a whole other podcast, bro. But with the Nitrous Mafia, what they'll do is they'll go to a venue like 2 or 3 weeks before the event's supposed to happen, and they'll go bury all these tanks and then bust them out in the middle of the festival, and they'll have them buried. They used to do that in Motown until we put a crackdown on them.
Yeah,
it's
because
crazy.
everybody, even the first day, everyone had something. You could buy weed, or I remember the people I was with, they had the brownies, and I'm like, you sure you want to eat that? I mean, you don't even know what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they were. Spence, you know, Shuey, Shuey. But, you know, that's the thing, too. We also were able to bring people with us that worked with us over the years, you know, that were dedicated to us, you know, like Spencer, you know, that would work with us, and Gaff. What's up, Gaff? Rich, who did the recording with us with Bob Acquaviva, you know, I mean, so a lot of people we got, and of course, Bear, who mixed us, you know, that's been mixing us forever, you know, he gets to mix the biggest platform of his life, you know, and boy, what a great job he did, because when you watch that live video, you know, even though it's a live video, it's still, you can tell the production coming out of there, and, you know, my drums are going around we ended with a little part of our song, but it was a whole lot of love as well, and it comes in and that, you know, I mean, it was thunderous around the kit, you know, I mean, but it was, you know, it was really for me, and for as far as everyone that was around me, we all had a great time.
Bear doesn't get enough love. We got to give Bear some love, because that guy's got the greatest ear around.
Greatest ear.
He does. He's freaking awesome.
Yeah, he just mixed us, me with Last Left at that Cheryl Field Days, and those guys never experienced it yet. You know, I mean, it was their first time, because the actual venue hired Bear and James Shears.
Oh, cool.
That's his gear, and then Bear mixes.
Bear mixes,
And it was funny because he did the line check and got us all checked and stuff. And usually Spence's dad mixes, and And Bear's like, so it's all yours. That's all yours. Like, oh no, it sounds great. Dad said, no, it sounds great. So, and I can remember asking people after the show, I go, so hey, you guys have a good time? You like the way it sounds? He goes, man, those drums.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thunderous.
Definitely.
He's the king of drums.
Yep.
That's probably why I like him.
That's it, man. The God of Thunder.
Yeah.
We used Bear at Brownies one night, and it was the first time. I know that I've probably spoken about this before, but when Brownies was, they closed it down for a little while, and they renovated when Wally was.
Oh, so they put the stage over there instead of in the window.
This is the first time they did it. It was still in the window, but they had closed down so they could just do a little bit of sprucing up and renovating there. So we were the first band to go and play there after. And Wally comes out, and Bear is mixing for us. We had hired him to mix for us that night, and we're setting up, we're doing our thing, and Wally comes up. He goes, "Oh, hey Bear, how you doing?" "Good, Wally. How you doing?" "Oh, what do you think of the new place?" He goes. Looks right at Wally and just goes, "Oh, place looks quite flammable here, "Oh, fuck you," he says like that, because Wally owned Cass Bridge, and he owned like a couple other places that burnt to the ground, but yeah, so that was quite
Daryl
funny.
will always tell you what is on his mind and don't.
Oh my God, it was just we just sat there and like we couldn't even laugh because we were just so stunned that he actually said, because all the walls were covered in like urethane. Like it was just, you could still smell. Like I was high from the fumes of the polyurethane. It was insane.
And didn't that place burn down?
No.
It just caught on fire last year. I think the upstairs did last year
and then
or something. But
they had that one guy go nuts and start shooting people.
That was he ended up in Glory Days.
Oh, Glory Days.
Yeah, which was next door.
My bad.
Yep.
A lot of good times there too.
Oh my God, I miss that place.
Yeah.
That was like a tree house, man. It was like we would go there and not drink. We just play darts, just hang out, get a bite to eat. It was just like a hangout. It was like our social club.
The kitchen was so filthy.
It was disgusting. You can ask Joe Rossi about that. He used to cook there.
Filthy. Oh my God.
Yep.
If anybody there on Facebook land wants to chime in on some of their Woodstock 99 memories, please chime in. Let us know. I'm kind of interested to see what there were some good stories out there today when I posted it on my personal Facebook. A couple people had some good things, and I can't remember off the top of my head what people were saying, but unfortunately, I wasn't there. But you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm glad I wasn't there. I used to think like, man, I wish I was there. But man, I had the Summer of Love in 1999, so that was fun traveling the country with just.
Well, that's why
I was chasing tail.
Well, that's what makes it kind of confusing, because if you were there and you had a great time, all of a sudden these documentaries come out and they're saying what a bad thing it was, and I'm like, well, I don't understand. Well, you're taking that away from me.
Sure.
Well,
it's legend now. So I'm sure there was 200,000 people there, or 250,000, something like that. And it's going to be like the same thing as '69. So like in 30 years from now, it's going to be like, yeah, man, I was at Woodstock '99, and all of a sudden 1.5 million people say they were there. You know what I mean?
Everybody I've ever talked to, friends and whoever else, the locals, they all had a great time. Nobody had a bad experience. Everybody I talked to.
I really have not met anybody that did. I'm waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what the bad experience you had.
Amy Groomer saying she worked for Nicky Doodles at the time, and everybody was coming up for Icy Pops because they were cheap and cold.
That's right. Nicky Doodles is right outside of the base too, so it's like just right outside that exit there.
Yeah. DR said he wasn't there, but he was watching it on the live stream.
The only complaint I've ever heard about that was the even though it was 90 degrees outside, the asphalt was like 130.
Oh, my feet killed.
So it was like, melting the bottom of shoes and stuff. That and the lack of water and the lack of restrooms. You know what I mean? It was
they thought they would give you water that was running out of those big, huge hoses.
Right, right.
It's like, no, that may be refreshing, but I need something in my body.
Yeah, exactly.
My mother said she did a drive-by just to be nosy. But, Ma, you were in Vegas then. I don't remember you being here then.
You weren't here either, so how do you know where your mother was?
I was on the road.
Mom Dukes.
But, yeah, Woodstock 99. All these documentaries that are coming out, and like everybody's saying, all the locals are saying it. Like, this is all kind of bullshit. But, of course, the ending. That was the problem. And the corporate gouging and stuff.
Sure.
But it's cool to see some of these documentaries, and you probably see some of your friends in it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's another thing, too. Like, people say, they'll catch themselves on those documentaries, and they'll do screenshots, and they'll post it on that site, and they'll look at them in the documentary, and it's like a zoom in of somebody in the crowd, because they videotaped all weekend long and never stopped, So you see so many other things. They had the drum circles, and I mean, there was this. It was the vast, huge world. For a weekend, and
so cool.
And then get out.
How about Red Hot Chili Peppers? They see people starting fires. Oh, let's play a Fire by Jimi Hendrix at 45,000 miles an hour. That's still on. You can still hear that. Like they play it on 92.7 The Drive all the time, and it's like you just hear. Oh,
it's so fast.
Yeah. It's 120 BPMs.
Fire. Let me see fire. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, and Flea in true Red Hot Chili Peppers fashion, and plays naked, and the only thing covering him is his bass.
Yep, exactly.
He made sure that the bass, he does his move where the bass goes up, and there he is, and it comes back down.
You think that's what sparked Tommy Lee's thing the other day? Did you see him the other day?
Oh, my God.
What?
Think Did
I miss this?
Yeah, he took a naked picture, posted on Instagram. It stopped the internet for a couple hours last week. It did. It's not. I think he was like, "All right, Flea, I'll show you."
Oh God.
I guess you got to take away from attention how bad your band is.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Tommy Lee is a legendary dude.
Oh, love him to death, man. That movie, that Pam and Tommy movie, that was a great freaking movie. Did you see that?
I didn't
see it.
I'm kind of curious on what was true and what was Hollywood.
You're right. I mean, I didn't know that was the story. And
they made Tommy look really bad.
Oh, well, that part of it sucked. Yeah,
they made him look really bad.
Oh man, I used to like Tommy. Now he's an asshole.
Right.
But that guy that stole the video, man, holy cow!
Yeah.
What was he thinking? You're stealing from Tommy Lee.
Did he ever have anything happen to him after that? Did he get arrested, or did he have to pay back any money? Or was there any kind of restitution?
No, because I mean, even on that Dirt documentary, it's like, well, the band went on for 10 years after. I'm like, what the hell kind of you couldn't stretch this video out to go to where they are now today, you know? But yeah, I just thought it was, like you said, it was kind of tough to see Tommy Lee in that way, but.
I heard too that back to where you said I wish that the band didn't suck. Now, I mean, I heard from somebody that went to go see them on this current tour, and I guess Vince Neil lost a whole bunch of weight, and he actually sounds halfway decent.
Oh, does he? Oh,
that's what I heard. He no longer looks like the abominable snowman from Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Well, I think
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I mean, I think artists really, out of respect for the people that are paying a ticket price, I mean, not everybody is drunk. I mean,
sure.
Give them a show. I mean, come on.
Well, a lot of these guys are doing it because they lost all their money. They lost all their money, and they're seeing all their cohorts from the '80s making a whole boatload of money just touring. So they're like, "Fuck it, I'll tour." Not realizing, like,
I heard Poison was the best.
That's what I keep hearing, too.
You know
why?
Poison
because steals the show every night, from what I'm hearing.
Well, Poison and Def Leppard are literally the only two that are still actively touring.
Yeah.
Like, constantly. Like, Bret Michaels, when he's not on tour with Poison, he's on tour solo.
Yeah.
Def Leppard never comes off the road.
And they always sound great.
And they sound great always. But, like, Joan Jett is on tour again. But you know who sounds horrible right now, and it's so sad, is John Bon Jovi.
Oh, my God, you're right.
Oh, my God. It's something like, like when you get to a certain age, and I'm not sure the age that it happens, or maybe it happens when you stop singing as much, but you get that whole, like 1.5 step vibrato when you try to sing dead or alive. You know what I'm talking about? Like that whole thing in your voice. And that's what he's got. And it's like not even on key. And I'm like, oh my God, it makes me so sad. I hate it.
I know. Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, your voice, that's your instrument, I mean, and I don't know when it goes. I mean, I saw Foreigner with Lou Gramm at the Stanley, and he was terrible.
Yeah.
And I was younger then, but I even knew what terrible was,
Sure.
But
you just want to know what love is.
And they get that new young cat, and he's great, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. You started a little conversation over here on Facebook. Motorlord saying old crew killed. Crew today sucks. I love old crew.
Old crew.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. All the way up to like girls. Even Dr.
I saw my Theater of Pain. They were great.
Did you? And then Moira saying they had to end the crew documentary because 10 years was Vince living for eating.
That's right, Jeff. The inside scoop. Thanks.
And Motorlord saying Poison has been killing it. CeCe DeVille's sober now. And he's just like on top of his game.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And Bret Michaels is the coolest motherfucker.
Oh,
in
my
rock.
God.
I don't care. You could talk shit all you want about him, but Bret is the coolest guy in music.
I met him and talked to him for about 45 minutes after a show at the casino. To the point where his guitar player and I were talking for so long that the line had gone all the way out to the casino floor for the meet and greets, and the security came in and they were like, "Mr. Michaels, like we really got to move this along. Like they're out into the," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like this," but we were literally in heated conversation.
Like a cool guy.
Great. Oh, he was great, dude.
The image when he played in Buffalo at the stadium, and he's got Michael's Buffalo Bills jersey on, he's got doing something like this, and there's just a whole sea of people in the Bills stadium. I mean, it was
so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
The other thing too about Bret Michaels is he always donates to some sort of local charity. Like no matter where they go on tour, like every stop, he's making a donation.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. It really
Gotta
is.
give back, man.
He does. He takes time for everybody too.
Wow.
When it's a time for a meet and greet, the second he comes off that bus, true definition of a professional.
Oh yeah,
he is hands down.
God-gift talent.
Yeah. Did you see the Art Simmons comment?
Yeah, Art's in the house.
Art is in the house.
What up, Art?
Art, if anybody doesn't know, is currently mixing us.
Yeah.
Very excited about
man,
that.
He mixed us for years.
So
He's
awesome.
The best, man.
He is absolutely the best, and it's so cool to to see people come up and they're like, "Man, he's doing such a great job. You guys sound great." And it's just awesome. And
you guys always do sound great.
He's a consummate professional. But he said Woodstock '99 was pre-digital mixing boards. I remember Bear and I, because he mixed Red Herring that day.
Oh.
He said side by side with two Midas XL3 boards, and like Pat said, sound checking and headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a guy next in front of me saying Tom 1.
Yeah, right.
Tom 2.
Yeah.
And while there's another band playing on stage,
Right. It was probably a little bit difficult to navigate through all of that. Just.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure there was talkback mics back then too, though, right?
Yeah, he was getting it from the front of the house.
Yeah, I gotcha. Joe Town saying she saw Rat and Poison a few years ago. It was a great show. Yeah, Poison's really doing great. I don't know how Rat's doing these days. Let me know how Rat is doing. I mean, Stephen Percy isn't with them, are they? Is this a different lead singer?
Yeah, you're right, because he's going under his own name, I thought.
Think so. I don't know, though. I haven't followed them.
Because for a while, especially when they played at Captain Trips, it was just Bobby Blotzer, I think, just the drummer.
Motorlord saying Bret never took the fans for granted. Mick Brown was that way, too. Mick Brown? I've seen Mick Brown go nuts one time, actually, at a festival. Yeah, he freaked out. Him and Don Dokken freaked out on us, and that's for another story.
You know what I love? You're talking about talkback mics, and I know that they have one, but they also have a way to communicate with each other. Have you ever worked with Ergo? Like those guys?
Yeah.
I love it because they literally, at front of house and a monitor board, they have phones. Like the old style, pick up the phone thing like this. And like, as soon as this one picks up the phone, it rings up the front of the house. They pick it up and they talk back and forth to each other. Most likely making fun of the bands the entire time, but I think it's hilarious.
Hysterical, man. Nice. Pat, what do you got going on? You got anything you can plug? You got anything happening? Who you playing with?
I mean, as much as I love to play, and I've been lucky enough to play recently with Last Left, I've really been focusing on my photography business,
The click photography.
The click photography, yeah. I mean, I've been doing that for 39 years, and it's another way that I can put my artistic touch on things, I love it. I'm passionate about it, like with anything, like with my cooking.
How can people, if people are interested in your photography, how they get in touch with you?
You can find me on Facebook, The Click Photography, at facebook.com. It's a Whitesboro address because there's like 10 click photographies out there.
Is there?
Yeah, so, or you can, if you know me and you need, seeing your pictures done, wedding.
Yeah.
Your dog.
That's a busy time of year for you.
It is. I'm very busy.
How many more weddings do you have?
I got 8 more weddings.
8? That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people like to do now in the fall because it's a little cooler,
right.
And of course, senior pictures, they're stacked up, and then pretty soon the fall is going to be here. We got a lot of families for fall photos for, Christmas pictures and stuff like that.
We should do our senior pictures, Justin.
Oh, my God, yes. I would love that.
I want with the silhouette and up top in the corner.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my God, yes. And I do have to say that one of my favorite pictures ever taken at Showtime was done by Pat at Saranac and with a fisheye lens, and we're pointing up at we were on the stage at Saranac. It was so cool.
That's right, you had Keith James and
Ben and Sean.
Ben,
Ben, Sean, and Keith were in, yep. And that was such a cool picture. That was so cool. Oh, sorry about that.
It means a lot to, when I see bands using my photos, I mean, because I really take a lot of pride in my work. And when I'm taking a picture of your band, I want you to use it. I want you to be happy with it, that it's going to get you some work or it's going to get some attention. Because I just recently did pictures for Seattle Suns, and I was pretty much me contacting Jake and saying, Jake, because he's a good friend, obviously, with Rattle Basket. And I said, listen, you guys need a band photo. You guys are, a great band, and you have just a backdrop of your stage for your band photo. People want to have a face with a name, and they want to see you. So I go, you guys are playing in town. I'm going to come with my camera, tell the rest of the guys, and we're going to do a band photo. And we just went out back really quick at Lucan's, and I was really bam, 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 bam. Do a little editing, some black and white.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're using it for every gig, and I'm so happy, and same with Scott. I love Scott to death, anything I can do for those guys, and I was able to see the band too play, and I was, that drummer's great,
Kevin Dean, man.
Yeah.
Kevin Dean.
What a great band,
Yeah.
But anything I can do to, use my art to help someone, and people need professional photos, and they don't think about it until you get it done,
Exactly.
Nice. Borges saying pics from Deanna's wedding were fantastic. They were. I got to see a bunch of them that you posted up today.
That was a celeb wedding. Yeah,
I know. Everybody
was great.
Just scrolling through it, it's like you've seen Max, and then there's Joe Sweet, and Finelli, and a whole bunch.
It was funny because I'm talking with Joe, and we're going and setting up that picture and stuff, and it was my first time meeting his wife, and we're talking, how long have they been married? And he's like, "This is the first time you're meeting her," and I'm like, "Yeah."
He hides her.
Yeah, what a beautiful couple, though. It was great.
For sure.
It was great.
DR saying, always try to tag the photographer in your photos. We're all in this together. And
Max Sheldon, he loves getting pictures taken, and he's very good at getting new ones, so he can always have updated pictures and stuff. A lot of bands should do that,
Yeah.
Keep some fresh stuff coming out. Obviously, when I was in bands, I always made sure the band did photos. Of course, I couldn't be in them, but it would be pretty much get one of the wives here. This is what I want you to do. This is what we're going to be doing. And just have some updated pictures, and
it's important.
Always makes you look like you're doing something.
Yeah. And Adderman's in the house. He's saying late as usual hello to fellas. So, Adderman, let's get together for beers real soon.
Yes, please.
Nice. Justin, where are you at this week? I'm sure you got a full schedule.
Well, I was supposed to be at the downtown Shout-On tonight, but that got canceled in Herkimer, obviously, because of the weather. Like I said earlier, it looked like Jackson Pollock took green paint and splattered it all over New York State. So that was done today. Tomorrow, I'm playing by myself at Harpoonettes. Wednesday, Showtime Trio is at the concerts in the park at Whitesboro there.
Oh, cool.
6:30. Friday, we're at the gig at 10 o'clock. Saturday, we have a wedding. Sunday,
Hey.
Let's go, Buffalo. Sunday, I was just... it was just changed to a full band Showtime gig at Harpoonettes because it's our last time in. It was supposed to be the trio, but he changed it to the full band. Ryan can't be there, so Mike Sales from Simple Props is going to fill in.
I love
He
Mike.
does that a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah. Whenever Ryan, there was a few shows that Ryan couldn't do, and luckily Mike was available. So
Mike's the man.
Yeah. Well,
Mike is the man.
I'm definitely want to come up and jam a tune with you guys sometime.
I love it. Yeah.
I think the last time I played with Showtime was years and years and years and years and years ago.
Oh yeah.
Was at the Valley Brook with me and Jeffrey played with you guys.
Yep, I do remember
We just
that.
happened to be drunk and at the Valley Brook, and
Yeah.
that's when Showtime would play at the Valley Brook.
Yeah, exactly.
That big band,
Yeah, we
1998.
played. No, it was later. It was like 2005 or 6 or something like that. But Sean was in the band, so it was like 2010.
No, I don't even
11.
think Sean was in the band. I don't even think.
Yeah.
Sean was.
Absolutely, he was because we were playing. Well, we did play as Showtime before Sean, but then after we did as well. And I'll never forget. Jeff came up and we played. I remember exactly what you played because. Jeff played the Doobie Brothers. He did Long Train Running.
Yes, he almost destroyed.
I never
Joe's
heard
cat.
so many cymbals being played in my entire life. It sounded like a metal drummer playing the Doobie Brothers. And then you did.
He's always got to be obnoxious.
What was it? You did Man in a Box because Jose
And I think Jeffrey
remembered
also
it.
did the outfield because you have to. Do the
Yes,
outfield if
absolutely.
Jeffrey's
Yeah.
There,
Yeah, but you played Man in a Box with us, and I wasn't on stage.
Yeah, because I remember some of your fans were like, "Man, never seen Showtime heavy like that.
Yeah. We can heavy it up a little bit every once in a while.
I would love,
I've seen
and you've
it.
done this song before, but I would love to come up and play "Don't Drink the Water" with you. Because,
Hell yeah.
Because you're so great at freaking Dave Matthews, and I love that song. And
I do love that
song. In
song,
fact,
yeah.
they did a great version of it at Woodstock '99.
Yes, they did.
Hey, we talking about Dave Matthews played there. I heard he got $1 million to play there too.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Really?
Because he passed up a gig. That's another thing. They dumped all their money into the artists.
Yeah.
Because so they had to make money somehow. All right, don't clean up the porta potties or the garbage, and don't hire security.
Yeah.
Let's take away from sanitation and just give it to to the artist.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it was such a mess.
I feel bad for the production people too, like all that shit.
Oh, my
gear,
God,
how
yeah.
much gear that got ruined, and so crazy. But this has been cool, man. We got to do this again, man. I love when you come and
love talking music.
Yeah,
Love it.
Definitely.
if you got any projects coming up or whatever, man, keep us in mind. Come hang out anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate any kind of help that you do. I mean, you guys are great, very helpful in the local music and arts scene. And that's like you always say, we have a lot of it here. And
Yeah. Sure do.
Any kind of exposure is always good exposure.
For sure. I like that you're rocking that career mode shirt.
That's
too.
right.
They rocked it Thursday
What's
night.
up, neighbor?
They rocked Thursday night was insane down on Varick Street. You guys were across the street on at the Harbor.
Yes.
Bomb was playing over at Lucan's and Keep Flying.
It was almost like
What a
back in the
vibe.
day. You
It
know what
was
I mean?
Great, dude.
And I love when Nell Creek does shows like that
Yeah.
because it brings that positive energy to the street. You know what I mean? Because there's certain times that I feel like that street gets a negative vibe, but like that night for some reason was really cool. We had, us and that event at Nell Creek and like you said, the Bomb and like
It was
It
wild.
was
down
like
at Varick,
old
man.
school Varick.
I loved it Thursday night. It was good to be out. It was fun. So the music scene's popping right now.
Yeah, I'm glad Tommy does what he does. He really tries to push it, and more people got to do that.
Like I was saying before, though, I'm really curious to know if Fred, Matt, and like TP got together and figured out what they're going to do with music, because I know that the beer garden is planning on having music, but like as well as I do, being in that situation when two bands are trying to play at the same time, it is the most annoying experience on the planet.
Way too close.
I mean, God bless Tommy Crowd tried to get us to play outside. Outside on their patio, which would have been beautiful, but Sickenberger, when they're playing their music behind us, all you hear is those bass cabinets, and it's like it's tough to count off something. It's tough to, and I'm in ear. Playing. We tried it with the trio a few times, and it was loud then, So I don't know how we would ever do it, but
they'll figure it out.
yeah,
They will figure it out. Speaking of Saranac, I want to thank them for sponsoring the show. We love them over there. Saranac.com. Check them out online. Also, shout out to Upgrade Brain Formula. I love this stuff. Use it. Check it out, people. Go to their website, freemanformula.com. Use promo code DISRUPTION. Get yourself a 15% discount. Help wake up your brain. You want to get woke? That's what the kids say. You want to get woke? This stuff will help you get woke. It's right here. EJA Moving Services. I love you, Eddie Alsheimer, for always taking care of us here on the D and taking care of me personally. 315-335-0516 if you're ready to move and relocate. Thank you to Joey's at 307. Give them a call if you're looking to set up some reservations and eat some delicious food. It's 315-864-3527. Thank you to Utica Coffee. My attorney, Dave Longaretta, and, of course, Ballsy, ballwash.com. Use promo code members only for a 15% discount.
My people.
Your people.
I just want to record a commercial for them.
Smell.
I want to record a commercial so bad.
Munch says hi, Daddy. Say hi to Munch.
Hi, Munch.
Yes. I want to thank everybody that watched this today. If you want, please do us a favor, click that share button, and we'll be throwing the podcast up, and you can listen to it on all the podcast platforms. Pat, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks, brother.
For having
Appreciate
me.
you taking the time. This is a lot of fun. Let's do it again really soon.
Definitely.
Justin,
Z,
close us out.
love it. Just remember.